Today, ladies and gentlemen, Kelvin P. Ringo, Prince of Positive, Oracle of Optimism, coming to you once again from lovely Liverpool, New York. And another magnificent day we had today. I will tell you, we had a couple of lesser magnificent days after that last podcast, but I think that Mother Nature is just trying to test our mettle and see what we're going to, because the next day it dropped down to cold and rainy. But, you know, that's that sunshine from the day before, those blue skies. They kind of held me over for a couple of days. And now we've reconnected with them. So they're coming more often. It's like meditation. The more you do it, the better they get. The more often they show up. Well, Mother Nature must be meditating on sunny and blue skies for Liverpool, New York, because it's happening more often every week. Today's show is brought to you by Vitamin K, your daily dose of positive, philosophical supplements for your attitude health. 1 a day, 5 days a week, Monday through Friday. 2 or 3 minutes in the morning to read something that's just going to help you put your mindset in a proper frame to handle the rest of your day. And you get to try it for a full 4 weeks, free, if you go to www.vitaminkdaily.com. Again, www.vitaminkdaily.com. Try it for 4 weeks. If you don't like it, hit cancel, and we will never bother you again. Till you sign up next time. Because, after you do it for 4 weeks, you're going to miss it. You go, it really was pretty good. I just canceled it just to see if I could do it after 4 weeks. Well, yes, you can, and I won't even bother you. How's that? And if you happen to go 4 weeks in a day and it charges you and you said, I meant to cancel, email me. I'll fix it for you. Because if we're not doing you any good, I don't want you to have to listen to us. But a lot of people like Vitamin K. Maybe you too. Welcome to the Intensely Positive Podcast with your host, Kelvin P. Ringo. Preset your mindset to make every day count and make positivity your way of life. Are you ready?
Let's just do this.
So welcome back to my podcast, and what are we going to talk about today? Yes, you guessed it, part 2. What is a mastermind group? Now, I do need to let you know that this is a great standalone lesson, but it will mean even more if you've listened to Intensely Positive Podcast episode 43 entitled, Can You Have It All? Or maybe that's, Can You Have It All? Sometimes the emphasis is on the syllable. Because in that episode, we did answer the question, can you have it all? And the answer was a resounding yes, you can. But there are some conditions. So if you want to know what those are, episode 43, Intensely Positive Podcast, go for it. Let me know what you think. And then you can come back to this one and get the rest of the story. Now, you start thinking about a mastermind. You're probably sitting around thinking about a bunch of people around a big old table, and they've got these little wired helmets on their heads, and they're sitting in the dim light that's kind of flashing, and they're meditating, and then in a few minutes, the assistant comes to the door and says to the master, Master, the mastermind is assembled. In the meantime, you're picking up a picture of Marvin and Martian sitting around with all his buddies, trying to take over the world, and if they can't, then they go to issue that earth-shattering kaboom. That kind of a mastermind. You see that picture in your mind? Well, that's not what we're talking about here. A mastermind for our purposes comes from the definition that Napoleon Hill advanced many, many years ago. 2 or more people who come together in a spirit of perfect harmony for the attainment of a definite purpose. So choose your team well. But perfect harmony, does that mean that everybody has to agree on everything? Au contraire. No, it does not. Because, the great William Wrigley, yes, the guy who had the chewing gum, is attributed with the quote, when 2 men in business always agree, one of them is unnecessary. And since he said that around 1931, we're going to update it for the times, and we're going to say when two or more people are in business together and they always agree, one of them is unnecessary. So if you don't have to agree all the time, can you be harmonious? Absolutely. Here's some other words for harmonious. On one accord, peaceful, on the same wavelength, cooperative, in sync, sympathetic. Look that up. It might not mean what you think it means. All oars in the water and heading in the same direction. There's a lot of things that mean harmonious, but what it basically means is are united and agreed on a definite purpose. So it stands to reason if you don't have a definite purpose, if you don't know what it is you're trying to do, if you don't know where it is you're trying to go, you're not ready for a mastermind yet, in my humble opinion. But once you know where you're headed, you're ready. I mean, really, why do you need a mastermind? Who among us knows all the answers? Who among us can see all the angles and the possibilities and the context that something will take for other people? Who among us can translate our own vision and desires so that anyone, anywhere can understand it? I mean, as great a communicator as I think I am, sometimes I have people who need to give me a view I haven't considered. One of the friends that helps me do that, I mean, I've got several. There's Jill. Jill's awesome. And there's Mitch. Mitch was one of my first perspective generators. Because a lot of things I'd say and he'd just tell me what I was missing, who I was overlooking, what feelings I wasn't considering, what ideas I hadn't thought of. And as much as I hated to admit it most of the time, it's like, I guess you're right. Now, I will tell you that a lot of times we didn't necessarily agree, but at least I was aware of a perspective I was not aware of before so that I could consider it and I wouldn't be blindsided by it. So, a mastermind can help you in all kinds of ways. But a mastermind is to help us see the things and realize the possibilities that we'd miss if we were working alone. And that's awesome. That's my view of a mastermind group. So as long as each person has signed on for the definite purpose that you have in mind, the details can be somewhat malleable. You know where you're trying to go. How you get there is flexible. And what about all those pieces, all those hats of your business? When you go into business, I started looking at the things that I did in my business recently. Well, it's been a while now. Without a mastermind alliance, you get to do all that stuff yourself. You're the chief cook and bottle washer. You have it all. You have the ideation. I learned that word recently from Jill Hurst-Wall. Ideation. That's idea generation. I'd never heard it before. It pays to hang around with smart people. Now I can use that word all the time. Ideation. Look that up. Ideation. Research. You got to do the research. You know how to do web design? You do your own website? How about marketing materials? How about marketing? How about developing the product that you want to offer? No matter what you're doing, there is a product at the end of it. It could be an idea. It could be a service. It could be any number of things. That's whatever your product is. But if you're going to develop it and sell it and design it, you're going to run out of hats soon. And then what about training? You're going to have to train yourself to learn how to do something to put it together. I know there's a lot of systems out that we can use today in social media where we can promote ourselves. Facebook is a wonderful place. It's magical. It does every kind of thing you can imagine. And it changes every 12 minutes. So even if you're good at it, in 12 minutes, you're going to have to learn something else or get rid of something they decided wasn't going to work for you. How about advertising? But now that you've got all that stuff together, you've got to advertise it. And if you've got something you have to replenish their supply, do you need financing? Can you do all that yourself? Do you know where all the areas are or all the all the avenues that you can get financing for that definite purpose that you have. Then, of course, you need customers. So you've got to find customers. You've got to attract your audience. And after you attract your audience, you're going to have to serve your audience that you just attracted. What if they have complaints? You're going to be the complaint compartment too. I'm sorry, complaint department. Haha. And it goes on and on and on and on. And when you're working by yourself, you will find, imagine, I'm a motivational speaker. Imagine me on my way back from that incredible trip I booked in Europe. And I'm coming back on the plane, and now I got to hook up that incredibly expensive Wi-Fi so I can get on the phone on the plane and start cold calling and calling for my next group of speeches. Okay, that might be a little bit silly, but you get the point, right? If I'm working all by myself, I do all those hats. When do I get to enjoy the success of my actions? If you're doing all the pieces yourself without any help at all, when do you get to enjoy the actual success of your actions? That's why there's a mastermind group, even if it's only 2 people. And yes, we said before, there are systems out there that you can use to help you do all that other stuff, to work events, to do all that other stuff. But do you know how to use them all? Do you know how many of them there are? Do you know which ones are best for the purpose that you have in mind? And if you're spending all your time working in the details of the business, when will you have time to work on the business? And how scalable will you be? Everybody got a mastermind. Steve Jobs had Steve Wozniak. Bill Gates had Paul Allen. Warren Buffett had Charlie Munger. Sherlock Holmes had Watson. Subsequently, so did Alexander Graham Bell. I don't think it was the same Watson, though. Anyone you know who was running a successful business or project or venture had a mastermind before they got big, whether they called it that or not. So that's a mastermind, my friend, whether you have one person with you or you have 5. I think 5 is a maximum number. I could be wrong on that. But before you get a mastermind, again, you need to have that definite purpose. And you need to have that plan, just like the carpenter had the plan for that vinyl they put down in my house. And your builder has a plan for the house that they want to build for you, or that you want them to build for you. Without that plan, there is no focus, there is no mastermind, in my opinion. So are you ready for that? Do you have your plan together? Are you headed out on your journey? Are you fine-tuning everything? If you're doing it by yourself, beware the roadblocks. Get that mastermind. At least one other person can help you, because Napoleon Hill says there can never be 2 minds together where a third mind, the mastermind, is not generated. It's intangible. You can call it magic if you want to. Remember the 2 heads are better than 1? Oh, yeah. Yeah, 2 heads are better than 1. If the 2 heads come together in perfect harmony for a definite purpose. Think about it. And I'll see you next time.
Wow, that was awesome.